Question 1. In Scrum, who is primarily responsible for managing the product backlog, including its content, availability, and ordering? I. The Scrum Master. B. The development team. C. The project manager. D. The product owner. Answer: D. The product owner. The product owner is the sole person responsible for maximizing the value of the product resulting from the work of the development team, and this includes managing the product backlog. This role involves clearly articulating product backlog items, ordering them to best achieve goals and missions, and ensuring the product backlog is visible, transparent, and understood by everyone. For instance, if a new feature request comes in, the product owner decides its priority and where it fits in the backlog. Always remember, the product owner represents the voice of the customer and business, guiding what gets built. Question 2. A self-organizing Agile team is facing a persistent technical impediment that is slowing down their progress. Which role is primarily responsible for helping the team remove this impediment? I. The product owner. B. The Scrum Master. C. The project sponsor. D. The business analyst. Answer: B. The Scrum Master. The Scrum Master serves the team in several ways, and a key responsibility is to remove impediments to the development team's progress, acting as a servant leader. While the team might try to resolve issues themselves, the Scrum Master steps in when an impediment is beyond the team's ability or authority to resolve quickly, such as negotiating with external stakeholders for resources. For example, if the team needs a specific software license that is held up in procurement, the Scrum Master would facilitate getting it. Think of the Scrum Master as a shield, protecting the team from distractions and roadblocks. Question 3. What is the primary purpose of a daily Scrum meeting in an Agile project? I. To report progress to the project manager and stakeholders. B. To discuss and commit to new work items for the day. C. To synchronize activities and plan for the next 24 hours. D. To conduct a detailed review of completed features. Answer: C. To synchronize activities and plan for the next 24 hours. The Daily Scrum is a 15-minute time-boxed event for the development team to synchronize their activities and create a plan for the next 24 hours. During this meeting, team members typically share what they did yesterday that helped the development team meet the sprint goal, what they will do today to help the development team meet the sprint goal, and any impediments that are blocking their progress. It's a quick internal huddle, like a sports team planning its next play, ensuring everyone is aligned and aware of potential roadblocks. The goal is to maximize the team's ability to achieve the sprint goal. Question 4. Which Agile principle emphasizes continuously adapting the project plan based on feedback and changing requirements, rather than following a rigid upfront plan? I. Individuals and interactions over processes and tools. B. Working software over comprehensive documentation. C. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. D. Responding to change over following a plan. Answer: D. Responding to change over following a plan. One of the core Agile Manifesto principles states that responding to change over following a plan is valued more. This principle emphasizes the importance of agility and flexibility, acknowledging that requirements can and often do evolve throughout a project's lifecycle. Instead of rigidly sticking to an initial plan, Agile teams are encouraged to embrace new information and adapt their approach, continuously delivering value based on current understanding. For example, if user feedback suggests a crucial feature needs modification, an Agile team would adjust the plan rather than pushing forward with the original design. This adaptability ensures the product remains relevant and valuable to the customer. Question 5. Which of the following best describes the concept of a minimum viable product, MVP, in Agile development? I. The bare minimum set of features required to launch a product. B. A product with just enough features to satisfy early adopters and provide feedback for future development. C. A prototype used for internal testing before full development begins. D. The smallest possible product that can be sold for profit. Answer, B. A product with just enough features to satisfy early adopters and provide feedback for future development. A minimum viable product, MVP, is a version of a new product which allows a team to collect the maximum amount of validated learning about customers with the least effort. It's not just about the fewest features, but about identifying the core functionality that provides value to early users, enabling quick release and gathering valuable feedback. For example, a new social media app's MVP might only allow users to post text updates, without images or videos, to test the core concept and user interest. The key is to learn from real user interaction as quickly as possible to guide subsequent iterations. Question 6. What is the primary focus of the Value Delivery Performance domain according to the PMBOK Guide, 7th edition? I. Ensuring the project delivers the planned scope on time and within budget. B. Maximizing the business value received from the project's outcomes. C. Minimizing project risks and uncertainties throughout the lifecycle. D. Developing the project team's skills and capabilities. Answer, B. Maximizing the business value received from the project's outcomes. The Value Delivery Performance domain focuses on enabling the organization to realize the intended benefits and value from the project's outputs. It goes beyond simply completing tasks or features, emphasizing the actual impact and positive outcomes that the project brings to stakeholders and the business. This means continuously asking whether the work being done truly contributes to the desired benefits, like increasing customer satisfaction or generating revenue. For instance, a project might deliver a new software system, but the value delivery domain is concerned with whether that system actually improves operational efficiency or user experience as intended. Always remember, a project's ultimate success is measured by the value it delivers. Question 7. In an Agile project, what is the main purpose of refinement activities for the product backlog? I. To formally approve and freeze the scope of upcoming sprints. B. To estimate the cost of all remaining backlog items. C. To add detail, estimates, and order to product backlog items. D. To demonstrate completed features to stakeholders. Answer, C. To add detail, estimates, and order to product backlog items. Product backlog refinement is the act of breaking down and further defining product backlog items into smaller, more precise items. This is an ongoing activity to add detail, estimates, and order to items, ensuring they are ready for upcoming sprints. For example, a large epic like implement customer login might be refined into smaller user stories like, as a user, I can create an account, and, as a user, I can log in with my credentials. This continuous clarification helps the development team understand what needs to be built, reducing ambiguity and improving planning accuracy. Question 8. A new Scrum team is struggling to accurately estimate the effort for their product backlog items. Which Agile estimation technique involves the team collaboratively assigning relative effort points to items, using a specific sequence of numbers? I. Ideal hours. B. Affinity estimation. C. Planning poker. D. T-shirt sizing. Answer, C. Planning poker. Planning poker is a consensus-based, gamified technique for estimating, mostly used to estimate effort or relative size of development goals in software development. During a planning poker session, team members use cards with numbers, often a Fibonacci sequence like 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, to secretly bid on the estimated effort for a product backlog item, then reveal their cards simultaneously. This helps to uncover differing perspectives and facilitates discussion to reach a shared understanding and a more accurate estimate. For instance, if one team member shows a 20 and another a 3 for the same task, it prompts a discussion about their assumptions and understanding. This collaborative approach fosters team ownership and improves estimation accuracy over time. Question 9. Which of the following statements best characterizes the role of a Scrum Master as a servant leader? I. Directing the team's tasks and ensuring they meet deadlines. B. Removing impediments for the team and facilitating their self-organization. C. Prioritizing the product backlog and defining the product vision. D. Reporting team progress to senior management and stakeholders. Answer, B. Removing impediments for the team and facilitating their self-organization. The Scrum Master embodies servant leadership by focusing on the needs of the development team and the product owner, rather than exercising traditional command and control authority. Their primary goal is to help the team become more effective and self-organizing by removing obstacles, coaching them on Scrum practices, and facilitating Scrum events. For example, if the team is distracted by external requests, the Scrum Master steps in to shield them and help them stay focused on the sprint goal. This leadership style empowers the team to solve problems and improve continuously. Question 10. In Agile, what is the main benefit of using a burn-down chart? I. To track the total cost incurred against the project budget. B. To visualize the remaining work and predict the likelihood of achieving the sprint goal. C. To monitor individual team members' performance and workload. D. To show the number of defects found and fixed over time. Answer, B. To visualize the remaining work and predict the likelihood of achieving the sprint goal. A burn-down chart is a graphical representation of work left to do versus time. It visually tracks the total remaining work, typically in story points or hours, against the time available in a sprint or release. As the team completes work, the remaining work line should trend downwards, indicating progress and helping the team to foresee if they are on track to meet their commitments. For example, if the line flattens out, it indicates that work isn't being completed as expected, prompting the team to investigate and adjust. This simple visual tool provides quick insights into project progress and potential issues. Question 11. An Agile team has identified a high-priority risk related to integrating a new third-party component. What is the most appropriate immediate action for the team to take? I. Delegate the risk to the project manager for resolution. B. Create a detailed risk mitigation plan for all identified risks. C. Discuss the risk during the next daily Scrum and collaboratively determine a solution or experiment. D. Document the risk and move on to the next user story. Answer, C. Discuss the risk during the next daily Scrum and collaboratively determine a solution or experiment. In Agile, risk management is an ongoing and collaborative activity, with the team taking ownership of identified risks. When a significant risk emerges, the daily Scrum is an ideal forum for the team to quickly discuss it, understand its potential impact, and collectively decide on an immediate course of action, which might involve a small experiment or a plan to address it within the current sprint. For example, they might decide to build a quick prototype with the third-party component to test the integration. This proactive and iterative approach allows for rapid response and adaptation, minimizing the potential negative impact. Question 12. What is the primary purpose of the definition of done in Scrum? I. To provide a checklist of tasks for the Scrum Master to complete. B. To define when a product backlog item is ready to be moved into the sprint backlog. C. To create a shared understanding of what "done" means for the increment, ensuring quality. D. To outline the responsibilities of each development team member. Answer: C. To create a shared understanding of what "done" means for the increment, ensuring quality. The definition of done, DOTI, is a formal description of the state of the increment when it meets the quality measures required for the product. It creates a shared understanding within the Scrum team about what work was completed on the product backlog item to ensure an increment is releasable. For example, a DOD might include items like code reviewed, unit tested, integrated, and acceptance criteria met. This consistent standard ensures quality and transparency, preventing partially completed work from being considered finished. Question 13. At the end of a sprint, the development team presents an increment that meets the definition of done but does not completely satisfy a key stakeholder's latest request. Which Scrum event is designed for inspecting the increment and adapting the product backlog? I. Daily Scrum. B. Sprint planning. C. Sprint retrospective. D. Sprint review. Answer: D. Sprint review. The sprint review is held at the end of the sprint to inspect the increment and adapt the product backlog if needed. During this informal meeting, the Scrum team and stakeholders collaborate on what was done in the sprint, review the increment, and discuss what to do next based on feedback and evolving needs. For instance, if stakeholders see the latest features and realize they need a slight adjustment, this is the perfect opportunity to capture that feedback and refine future work. It's a key feedback loop that ensures the product remains aligned with customer value. Question 14. An Agile team member approaches the Scrum Master concerned about the team's perceived lack of direction from a traditional project manager. How should the Scrum Master guide the team in an Agile context regarding decision-making? I. Reassure the team that the Scrum Master will take on the traditional project manager's role. B. Explain that the product owner is responsible for all team decisions and direction. C. Coach the team on principles of self-organization and collective decision-making. D. Refer the team to the project charter for explicit guidance on roles and responsibilities. Answer: C. Coach the team on principles of self-organization and collective decision-making. In Agile, particularly Scrum, teams are designed to be self-organizing and cross-functional, meaning they have the autonomy to decide the best way to accomplish their work without being directed by an external authority. The Scrum Master's role is to foster this self-organization by coaching the team, removing impediments, and facilitating their processes, rather than acting as a traditional manager. For example, if the team needs to decide on a technical approach, the Scrum Master would encourage open discussion and empower the team members to reach a consensus. This empowerment leads to greater ownership and more effective solutions. Question 15. A product owner is writing user stories for an upcoming feature. Which format is commonly used for writing user stories to ensure they focus on the user's perspective and value? I. As a role, I want, goal, so that, reason/benefit. B. Feature. Name, requirements. List, priority. Level. C. Task. Description, assignee. Name, due date. Date. D. System shall, action, when, event, occurs. Answer: I. As a role, I want, goal, so that, reason/benefit. The as a role, I want, goal, so that, reason/benefit format is the widely accepted and most effective way to write user stories in Agile. This structure ensures that each story focuses on the user who wants something, what they want to achieve, and why it provides value to them. For example, as a customer, I want to track my order, so that I know when it will arrive. This format helps the team understand the context and purpose behind the feature, fostering empathy and ensuring the delivery of true user value. Question 16. What is the primary benefit of continuous integration, CI, in an Agile project? I. To perform all testing activities only at the end of the project. B. To ensure all team members work in isolation to avoid conflicts. C. To detect integration defects early and maintain a consistently releasable product. D. To generate comprehensive documentation for every code change. Answer, C. To detect integration defects early and maintain a consistently releasable product. Continuous integration, CI, is a development practice where developers frequently merge their code changes into a central repository, after which automated builds and tests are run. The main benefit is that it helps to detect integration errors early and quickly, minimizing the effort required to fix them, and ensures the codebase remains in a healthy, deployable state. For example, if a new code commit breaks an existing feature, the automated CI pipeline will immediately flag the issue, allowing the developer to address it before it causes further problems. This practice significantly reduces the risk of large-scale integration problems and promotes a steady pace of development. Question 17. In the context of lean principles applied to Agile, what does eliminating waste primarily refer to? I. Reducing the number of team meetings. B. Removing any work or activity that does not add value to the customer. C. Minimizing documentation to save time. D. Using fewer software tools in development. Answer, B. Removing any work or activity that does not add value to the customer. Eliminating waste is a core principle of Lean, which significantly influences Agile methodologies. In this context, waste refers to any activity or effort that consumes resources but does not directly add value to the end product or customer. This can include things like unnecessary features, waiting time, excessive handoffs, or defects that require rework. For example, if a team is spending time on a reporting feature that no one uses, that's considered waste. By focusing on value-added activities, teams can become more efficient and deliver higher quality products. Question 18. A project manager is leading a large, complex project with a high degree of uncertainty regarding requirements and technological solutions. Which project lifecycle approach would generally be most suitable in this situation? I. Predictive, waterfall. B. Incremental. C. Iterative. D. Agile, adaptive. Answer, D. Agile, adaptive. When a project faces a high degree of uncertainty, especially concerning requirements and potential technical solutions, an agile or adaptive lifecycle is generally the most suitable approach. Unlike predictive methods that require detailed upfront planning, Agile embraces change through iterative development, frequent feedback, and continuous adaptation. For instance, developing a novel AI-driven product with unknown user behaviors would thrive under Agile, allowing the team to learn and adjust as they go. This flexibility helps navigate ambiguity and deliver a product that truly meets evolving needs. Question 19. According to the PMBOK Guide, 7th edition, which performance domain focuses on fostering a productive project team environment and ensuring team members have the necessary skills and resources? I. Planning performance domain. B. Development approach and life cycle performance domain. C. Team performance domain. D. Stakeholder performance domain. Answer, C. Team performance domain. The team performance domain addresses activities and functions associated with organizing, managing, and leading the project team. Its primary focus is on developing a high-performing team that can effectively collaborate and achieve project objectives, which includes ensuring team members have the right skills, resources, and a supportive environment. For example, this domain involves activities like team building, conflict resolution, and skill development to help individual team members grow and contribute more effectively. A strong team is the backbone of successful project delivery, whether using traditional or agile approaches. Question 20. When an agile team delivers a feature, and it passes all tests, but a key stakeholder expresses dissatisfaction because it doesn't quite meet their unstated expectation, what could be a contributing factor to this disconnect? I. The team did not follow the definition of done. B. Lack of thorough sprint retrospective meetings. C. Inadequate customer collaboration and feedback loops. D. The product owner prioritized the wrong backlog item. Answer: C. Inadequate customer collaboration and feedback loops. Agile emphasizes customer collaboration over contract negotiation as one of its core values, recognizing the importance of continuous engagement with stakeholders to ensure the product meets their actual needs. If a stakeholder is dissatisfied despite a feature being done, it often points to a gap in communication or insufficient feedback loops throughout the development process. For instance, if the stakeholder wasn't involved in sprint reviews or didn't provide clear input on user stories, their expectations might diverge from what the team built. Regular, transparent interaction is crucial to avoid such misunderstandings and ensure delivered value. Question 21. Which of the following best describes the principle of sustainable pace in Agile? I. Working at maximum capacity to deliver features as quickly as possible. B. Maintaining a consistent, long-term velocity that is achievable without burnout. C. Prioritizing speed of delivery over quality of work. D. Limiting the number of team members to reduce overhead. Answer: B. Maintaining a consistent, long-term velocity that is achievable without burnout. The Agile principle of sustainable pace emphasizes that development teams should work at a rate that they can maintain indefinitely, without compromising quality or leading to burnout. This means avoiding excessive overtime or unrealistic deadlines that could diminish team morale, increase defects, and ultimately slow down progress. For example, instead of pushing for an all-nighter to finish a feature, a team working at a sustainable pace would prioritize well-being and consistent progress. A steady, marathon-like effort is more effective than a series of unsustainable sprints. Question 22. During a sprint retrospective, the development team discusses several process improvements. Which of these improvements falls under the Scrum Master's primary responsibility to facilitate? I. Deciding which new features to include in the next sprint. B. Adjusting the team's working agreements to improve collaboration. C. Changing the product vision based on market feedback. D. Negotiating with external vendors for new software tools. Answer: B. Adjusting the team's working agreements to improve collaboration. The sprint retrospective is an opportunity for the Scrum team to inspect itself and create a plan for improvements to be enacted during the next sprint. The Scrum Master facilitates this event and is responsible for helping the team identify and implement these process improvements, which often include adjusting working agreements or internal team dynamics. For instance, if the team finds their daily stand-ups are too long, the Scrum Master would guide them to agree on a more efficient format. While all team members contribute, the Scrum Master actively ensures the team continuously improves its way of working. Question 23. A company is considering transitioning from a traditional project management approach to Agile. Which of the following is a key cultural shift required for a successful Agile adoption? I. Emphasis on individual heroics over team collaboration. B. Shift from fixed scope to flexible scope with iterative delivery. C. Moving from frequent feedback to infrequent, end-of-project reviews. D. Centralizing all decision-making with a single project manager. Answer, B. Shift from fixed scope to flexible scope with iterative delivery. A fundamental cultural shift for successful Agile adoption involves moving away from the traditional fixed scope, upfront planning mindset towards a flexible scope delivered through iterative cycles. Agile recognizes that requirements can evolve, and therefore, it prioritizes adapting to change and delivering value incrementally based on continuous feedback. For example, instead of committing to every detail of a product before starting, an Agile team focuses on delivering a valuable subset of features in short iterations, allowing the scope to evolve as more is learned. This embrace of flexibility is critical for thriving in uncertain environments. Question 24. What is the main purpose of sprint planning in Scrum? I. To review the previous sprint's performance and identify areas for improvement. B. To inspect the increment and adapt the product backlog. C. To select product backlog items for the upcoming sprint and define a sprint goal. D. To discuss and resolve impediments faced by the development team. Answer, C. To select product backlog items for the upcoming sprint and define a sprint goal. Sprint planning is the first event of the sprint, where the Scrum team collaborates to plan the work to be performed in the upcoming sprint. During this time-boxed event, the team discusses what can be delivered in the increment and how that work will be achieved, resulting in a defined sprint goal and a selected set of product backlog items forming the sprint backlog. For example, the team might decide to focus on enabling secure customer login as their sprint goal and pull in all related user stories. This planning ensures the team is aligned and focused on a clear objective for the iteration. Question 25. An Agile team wants to visualize their workflow, limit work in progress, WIP, and pull work as capacity allows. Which framework or methodology is best suited for this approach? I. Scrum. B. Extreme Programming, XP. C. Kanban. D. Feature-Driven Development, FD. Answer, C. Kanban. Kanban is an Agile framework primarily known for visualizing work, limiting work in progress, WIP, and maximizing efficiency. It uses a Kanban board to represent workflow states, allowing teams to pull work when they have capacity, rather than pushing it. For instance, a development task might move from to do to in progress, and then to testing on a Kanban board, with limits on how many items can be in progress at any given time. This approach helps reduce bottlenecks, improve flow, and increase predictability without imposing fixed iterations or roles. Question 26. In an Agile project, what is the significance of the information radiator? I. A tool used to send automated reports to stakeholders. B. A physical or digital display that provides highly visible, up-to-date project information to the entire team and interested stakeholders. C. A communication channel for private discussions between the Scrum Master and product owner. D. A document repository for all project artifacts and historical data. Answer, B. A physical or digital display that provides highly visible, up-to-date project information to the entire team and interested stakeholders. An information radiator is a highly visible, easily accessible display, such as a whiteboard, a large monitor, or a digital dashboard, that presents relevant and up-to-date project information to anyone who needs it. Its purpose is to foster transparency and quick communication within the team and with stakeholders, allowing everyone to instantly grasp the project's status, progress, and upcoming work. For example, a Scrum board with task cards and a burn-down chart prominently displayed serves as an excellent information radiator. It minimizes the need for formal meetings and encourages self-organization by keeping everyone informed. Question 27. Which of the following is a primary characteristic of a cross-functional team in Agile? I. Each team member specializes in a single area, like testing or development. B. The team members possess all the necessary skills to deliver value without relying on external specialists. C. The team reports to multiple functional managers. D. Team members are rotated frequently between different projects. Answer, B. The team members possess all the necessary skills to deliver value without relying on external specialists. A cross-functional team in Agile is composed of individuals who collectively possess all the skills necessary to produce a product increment. This means the team has all the expertise needed, such as analysis, design, development, and testing, within itself, minimizing dependencies on external groups. For instance, instead of needing to send a feature to a separate testing department, a cross-functional team has testers built in who work alongside developers from the start. This integrated approach reduces handoffs, improves communication, and accelerates value delivery. Question 28. According to the Agile Manifesto, what is valued over comprehensive documentation? I. Processes and tools. B. Customer collaboration. C. Working software. D. Following a plan. Answer, C. Working software. One of the 4 core values of the Agile Manifesto states, working software over comprehensive documentation. This principle highlights that while documentation has its place, the ultimate measure of progress and success in an Agile project is the delivery of tangible, functional software that provides value to the customer. For example, rather than spending months creating detailed specifications before writing any code, an Agile team prioritizes building and releasing working features to gather feedback quickly. This doesn't mean no documentation, but rather just enough to be effective, focusing efforts on creating the actual product. Question 29. A new team member joins an existing Agile team. To help them quickly understand the project's current status and work in progress, what visual management tool would be most effective? I. A detailed Gantt chart. B. A comprehensive project charter. C. A Kanban board or Scrum board. D. An extensive requirements document. Answer, C. A Kanban board or Scrum board. A Kanban board or a Scrum board is an incredibly effective visual management tool in Agile that provides an instant, transparent overview of the project's status and work in progress. These boards typically use columns to represent workflow stages, e.g., to do, in progress, done, and cards to represent tasks or user stories, making it easy for anyone, especially new team members, to quickly grasp what's happening. For instance, a new team member can immediately see which tasks are currently being worked on, what's coming next, and what has been completed. This visual transparency fosters shared understanding and promotes collaboration without needing extensive documentation. Question 30. Which of the following is a key aspect of adaptive planning in Agile? I. Creating a highly detailed, immutable plan at the beginning of the project. B. Planning in short, iterative cycles and adjusting based on feedback and new information. C. Relying solely on the project sponsor for all planning decisions. D. Avoiding any form of detailed planning until project execution begins. Answer, B. Planning in short, iterative cycles and adjusting based on feedback and new information. Adaptive planning is a cornerstone of Agile methodologies, contrasting sharply with traditional, predictive planning. It involves planning in short, iterative cycles, typically at the beginning of each sprint or iteration, and continuously adjusting the plan based on new information, feedback from delivered increments, and evolving requirements. For example, an Agile team might have a high-level release plan, but the detailed plan for the next 2 weeks, the sprint, is created just before that sprint begins, allowing for maximum flexibility. This iterative approach enables teams to respond effectively to change and optimize value delivery over time. Question 31. During an Agile project, a conflict arises between two team members regarding the best technical approach for a specific feature. How should the Scrum Master ideally address this situation? I. Step in and make the final decision to resolve the conflict quickly. B. Advise the team members to escalate the issue to the product owner. C. Facilitate a discussion between the team members to help them reach a collaborative solution. D. Assign the conflicting team members to different tasks to avoid further issues. Answer: C. Facilitate a discussion between the team members to help them reach a collaborative solution. The Scrum Master acts as a servant leader and facilitator, not a dictator, within the team. When conflicts arise, the ideal approach for the Scrum Master is to facilitate a constructive discussion between the conflicting parties, guiding them towards a collaborative solution. This empowers the team members to resolve their own issues, strengthening their self-organization and problem-solving skills. For example, the Scrum Master might encourage them to list pros and cons of each technical approach and consider a small experiment to test both. The goal is to help the team reach consensus and grow from the experience. Question 32. What does inspect and adapt refer to in the context of Agile frameworks like Scrum? I. Inspecting team member performance and adapting individual roles. B. Regularly inspecting the product, process, and people, and adapting to improve. C. Inspecting competitor products and adapting the market strategy. D. Inspecting financial reports and adapting the budget. Answer: B. Regularly inspecting the product, process, and people, and adapting to improve. Inspect and adapt is a core tenet of empiricism, which underpins Agile frameworks like Scrum. It emphasizes the importance of frequent inspection of progress towards a sprint goal, via Daily Scrum, the increment, via sprint review, and the process itself, via sprint retrospective, followed by timely adaptation to optimize value and improve effectiveness. For example, in a sprint retrospective, the team inspects their working process and adapts by deciding on a new tool or technique to try in the next sprint. This continuous feedback loop drives continuous improvement and helps teams stay on track to deliver the most valuable product. Question 33. Which of the following is the most appropriate approach for dealing with technical debt in an Agile project? I. Ignoring it until the end of the project when there is time for a cleanup sprint. B. Allocating a small, regular portion of each sprint to address and reduce technical debt. C. Outsourcing technical debt resolution to a separate, specialized team. D. Addressing technical debt only when it leads to a critical system failure. Answer: B. Allocating a small, regular portion of each sprint to address and reduce technical debt. Technical debt, which refers to the implied cost of additional rework caused by choosing an easy but limited solution now instead of using a better approach that would take longer, should be actively managed in Agile projects. The most effective approach is to allocate a small, regular portion of each sprint to address and reduce it. For example, a team might dedicate 10 to 15% of their sprint capacity to refactoring code, updating outdated libraries, or improving test coverage. This proactive management prevents technical debt from accumulating to unmanageable levels, which could significantly slow down future development and increase risks. Question 34. In the context of the PMBOK Guide, 7th edition, the Uncertainty and Ambiguity Performance Domain acknowledges that projects operate in environments with varying levels of unknowns. What is a key strategy for managing high uncertainty in a project? I. Implementing a highly detailed, rigid plan from the outset. B. Relying on predictive life cycles with extensive upfront planning. C. Adopting iterative, adaptive approaches with frequent inspection and adaptation. D. Deferring all decision-making until more information becomes available. Answer: C. Adopting iterative, adaptive approaches with frequent inspection and adaptation. The uncertainty and ambiguity performance domain explicitly recognizes that projects often encounter unknowns and unexpected situations. When faced with high uncertainty, an iterative and adaptive approach, characteristic of agile methodologies, is a key strategy. This involves working in short cycles, continuously inspecting the results, gathering feedback, and adapting the plan as new information emerges. For example, if a new technology is being explored, an adaptive approach allows for small experiments and learning without committing to a large, potentially flawed, long-term plan. This flexibility enables teams to navigate complex environments effectively. Question 35. When an agile team is estimating the size of user stories, and they decide to use story points, what do these story points primarily represent? I. The actual number of hours a developer will spend on the task. B. The business value that the user story will deliver to the customer. C. The relative effort, complexity, and uncertainty of implementing a user story. D. The exact monetary cost associated with completing the user story. Answer: C. The relative effort, complexity, and uncertainty of implementing a user story. Story points are a unit of measure for expressing the overall size of a user story, feature, or other work item, representing its relative effort, complexity, and uncertainty. Unlike time-based estimates, story points encourage teams to think about the work in terms of its holistic challenge rather than just hours, reducing the tendency to focus on specific individuals. For example, a story that is twice as complex as another might be estimated with twice as many story points. This relative sizing allows teams to improve their estimation accuracy over time and provides a consistent measure for their velocity.